It's Monday, Mindset Monday to be exact, and it is Shayla Sadler with Empowered for Purpose. And we are here tonight to wrap up the last part of this month's conversation about the ABCs of being empowered for purpose when it comes to setting and meeting your goals. Okay, sorry, I hear noise downstairs. Just making sure everything is okay. So I'm excited tonight. If you guys have not been with us the last 2 weeks, the first week we talked about the 2 A's in the ABCs, and that was awareness and alignment. And then last week we touched on belief, which I kind of think is the most important thing when it comes to goal setting, because I meet entrepreneurs all the time that have like amazing products, they have the business, they have a business plan, they have the backing, but they lack the belief. And because the belief is not there, then it limits them as it relates to how much progress they make when it comes to meeting their goals. So we're going to wrap this conversation up tonight. Hey Tara, thanks for joining us. Hey Michelle, thanks for joining us. So we're going to wrap this conversation up tonight, and we're going to actually talk about 2 C's. And the 2 C's are clarity and commitment. Okay, so that's what it takes. It takes alignment. It takes awareness. So alignment is everything in line with the goal that you're trying to make, right? So when you think about setting a goal of wanting to lose 10 pounds, are you aligned with the intentions that it takes to meet that goal, right? So is your eating going to be aligned with that? Awareness then would just simply be being aware of all the outside factors that play into that, right? So if you're in a mindset of trying to lose 10 pounds, then you need to be aware of upcoming events that are going on. You need to be aware of whether or not you're going to cook. How often are you going to eat out? So that's where the awareness comes into play. And then, of course, belief is, do you actually really believe that what you're wanting to do can even happen? So once you've got those 3 things, the last 2 things that you have to have is clarity and commitment. And the thing about clarity is there are levels to clarity. So what do I mean when I say that? Well, for me, even on this entrepreneur journey, right? So 18 months ago, I knew that, well, actually, it's a little bit more than 18 months now. Yeah, 18 months ago, all I knew is I wanted to write a book. All right. And then from there, I knew I wanted to be an empowerment speaker. I wanted to be able to talk to people about the message that was in the book. But it took a lot of work, intentional work, to get very clear on who exactly was the audience that I was going to be speaking to and what exactly was going to be the delivery of the message that I had. Right. So there's levels to clarity. And I think that sometimes you can think that you're clear, and for a season you can be clear operating right here, but every time it's time to grow, then more clarity needs to come about. Hey Latasha, thanks for joining. So Latasha just hopped on, you guys. So before we go any further, I'm actually going to bring her on the live really quickly, because she is going to share about an event that she has coming up this Saturday right here in Greenville. That is actually a vision board party that's geared towards entrepreneurs, and I'm super excited about it because I'm one of her panelists. So I'm going to bring her on very quickly so she can just tell us the details about her event. So let's see, Latasha, how do I get you on here? Latasha, do you see near your screen, like where your conversation box is, where you could type, do you see a little green button that would allow you to join the live? Do you see that? Like right where you would be able to type in right off to the side, there should be a little button that would allow you to join the live. So let's see if that works. If we can get you on so you can share with everybody the details for the event. It's going to be this Saturday. And the name of the location is Believing in You, which is off of Whitehorse Road. Here we go. Get her added, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that very quickly. If you guys are in the area and you don't have anything to do on Saturday, I encourage you to come out. The cost is $25, and that actually includes brunch and the supplies for making your vision board. So if you haven't made a vision board, or if you just really would like to be in an opportunity in a space to network with other entrepreneurs, or if you just have an idea about a business, then definitely by all means come join us this Saturday from 12 to 3. Latasha, it says that we are still trying to get you added, so hopefully that's gonna pop up in just a second. I'm excited though. I think it's kind of neat. I think that sometimes we write the vision and then if we don't, oh, no problem. Sometimes we can write the vision and then we come back home and we just put that vision board down, right? And it's crazy because it kind of ties into what I'm saying, that you can write the vision and have the plan, but you also need to have a process as to how you're actually going to meet the goals that you put on that vision board. So let's try this one more time. It says we're adding you. But so this ties in perfectly with that. I actually had an opportunity to present on this very same thing at a vision board party a couple of weeks ago. And that's one of the things that the ladies and I talked about was just what is the plan, right? Because when we just have a vision, that's nothing more than a dream if there's not action to back it. And really, in order to have action to back it, the action needs to have a plan. And the more detailed we are about the plan, the more likely we are to stick to it. And when we commit to the plan, the more likely we are to meet the goal. So it all kind of ties in hand together. Hey, Joan, thanks for joining. Hey, O'Neill, thanks for joining us. So while we're waiting on Latasha to hopefully join our live, I'll go ahead and talk to you guys about clarity. So we were talking about clarity being the fourth thing that's needed when you're trying to be empowered, not trying, but when you're working to be empowered for purpose and meeting your goal. So Deepak Chopra, I'm a fan of his. I like a lot of his work. I don't always do very well with his meditation. Sometimes when I try to do it at night and I end up falling asleep. But I am a fan of a lot of his written work. And so he says that most often when it comes to lack of clarity here, that there are three main things that are going on in the brain when we're missing clarity. Okay, so the first one he says is confusion. So if you have a lot of confusion around what it is you're trying to do, then that, of course, interferes with your clarity. And his tip for how to work through the confusion is to get your priorities straight. So like I told you guys, if we're sticking with this example of trying to lose 10 pounds, then if we get to the clarity, then we've got to get rid of the confusion. So, you know, for some people, there is a lot of confusion when it comes to weight loss on what is good to eat and what's not. I hear people all the time that talk about losing weight and they'll eat like nothing but fruit for breakfast. Well, there's a little bit of confusion with that theory because that's still sugar. Like, although it's better sugar for you, if you wake up in the morning and all you eat is strawberries and grapes for breakfast, then all you've given your body is sugar to process for the day, then the likelihood that you're going to lose a lot of weight effectively, probably not, right? So one thing that you have to check for when you're trying to get as clear as possible, and the more clear you are about what is needed to meet the goal, the easier it's going to be to meet the goal. So the first thing you have to consider is confusion, because sometimes confusion can come up and that makes it difficult to have clarity. So second thing is distraction. I have my notes over here so I don't forget anything. So the second thing is distraction. And what Deepak Chopra says that you need to do if distraction is what's keeping you from being crystal clear is you need to get better at focusing your attention. That one for me is like, because sometimes I feel like I have focus, but I'm focused on 15 things at one time. And when you focus on 15 things at one time, which I often do, it makes progress very slow versus if I would just commit to focus on one thing and get that one thing done and then focus on the next thing and get the next thing done. But I am still working in that area. So one of the things that I have learned to do, especially right now, I'm writing a book, right? And so it will be released at the end of the summer. I'm super excited about that. And one of the things that I have to do so that I'm able to focus my attention to writing is I use a timer. And that sounds kind of crazy and it's very simple, but it is very effective. I set a timer for 20 minutes. And for those 20 minutes, I'm not doing anything but writing. So I am not on Facebook. I'm not checking emails. I'm not chit-chatting. Sometimes I will even turn my phone on airplane mode so that it's not a distraction for me. So I set a timer. Because the thing about clarity is the more detailed we are within clarity, the easier it is going to be for us to meet the goal. And at the end of the day, there's got to be a plan, right? That's what all this is really about, is the fact that there's got to be a plan at the end of the day in order for us to meet the goal. So Deepak Chopra says, one is confusion. That disrupts clarity. Two was distraction. That can disrupt clarity. And then the third thing that can disrupt clarity is disorganization. That part. And I know from previous experience that if you have a cluttered mind, then it's very easy for you to have cluttered surroundings, and vice versa, right? I write about that in my 21-day devotional, Bound by God's Grace. Like, I write about declutter. That's one of the devotional titles. And I talk about the fact that I had so much clutter here that I didn't even see the clutter that I was just like living in. Like, it looked like Mary Kay had just thrown up across my dining room table, and that was constant. It always looked that way. I would get new shipments in, and I would just pile it all up on the dining room table. I had always kept piles of clothes, like they were clean, but they were still in the laundry basket that needed to be folded. I had stacks of papers over here, and all of that clutter affects clarity. And a lot of times we don't realize the correlation between mental clutter and external clutter, right? And as I begin to get clear here, as I begin to declutter here, I was able to see the external clutter so much differently. And so one of the things that Deepak suggests when it comes to disorganization is to throw out the non-essentials and to tend to the important things first. And so that's a big one, you guys, but it's so freeing when you can do this. So he says to throw out the non-essentials and tend to the important things first. So, you know, I told you guys that in the season, I'm working on writing a book right now. So when I think about needing to get more organized in my thinking, right, so that I have clarity, what's a non-essential for me? Well, if I need to have focused time, then a non-essential right now, honestly, is TV. And I catch some slack sometimes from people when that comes up in conversation, because they're like, oh, well, that's my relax time. So I'm not at all telling anybody else that TV is non-essential for them. But I realized that watching brainless TV was non-essential for me right now, because I need to focus my attention and I need to be more organized. And honestly, although I love some shows, and don't get me wrong, I have some DVR'd, and every now and then I'll kind of do a binge. Like, you know, I was at the beach with my mom for 2 days. So I told myself I was going to watch a TV show just to kind of, you know, chill and let my brain not be constantly thinking. But for me, that's something. So one of the ways that I was able to help with disorganization was what's non-essential, and then I could focus on the more important things. And the other thing that I will tell you guys that's really important too, when you're going after a goal, when we're looking at this whole alignment, awareness, belief, and now clarity, is to learn how to be focused on what it is that's in front of you at the moment. That is a game changer, especially if you're a woman who wears many hats. And what woman do you know that doesn't wear many hats, right? And so what do I mean when I say that? Well, most people just call it practicing being present. So what that looks like is, like I was telling you guys earlier, if I'm writing, then I'm focused on writing. However, if it's time for me to be mom and I'm with my kids, then I'm working and learning to be focused on just what they're doing, right? So even with the whole email, even with the whole Facebook, if it is my time to be engaged as a mom, then I'm not on Facebook, then I'm not checking my emails, then I'm not having all these sidebar conversations with my friends. I'm focused on being in the moment with my kids. And one of the things that helps is it helps when you have lines. Like when you have hard lines around clarity, then that's going to help you be committed to the goal. And commitment is the last C, okay? So we have awareness, alignment, belief, clarity, and now commitment. And commitment just really is what it says, right? Because how many of you know from previous experience that it's very easy to start off with the best of intentions for a goal, right? And sometimes we even have a plan, and sometimes we have some belief, maybe not full belief, but we have a little bit of belief and we have some clarity, but it gets hard and then we just quit. Well, you already know how that goes, right? If you can't commit to the goal, you're never going to meet the goal. And what I have found to be the case, though, is that, like I told you, the more detailed this plan is, the easier the commitment comes. And the commitment is tied, I think, really closely to the belief. Because remember, when we talked about belief, what we said was belief doesn't necessarily mean that you have all the answers. Belief doesn't necessarily mean that you have all the resources. Belief doesn't necessarily mean that you have it completely figured out. But belief is just almost synonymous with faith. But you just know. You know that it's supposed to be. You know that it's supposed to happen, right? The more belief you have, the easier it is to be committed to it. Like, I know that I am supposed to impact, empower, inspire, and educate women. I know that. I believe that with everything in me. I don't always know how. And sometimes I lack clarity on exactly what that's supposed to look like. But I'm committed to it because my belief in it is so strong, right? So without belief, it's going to be harder to commit. But we have to have commitment. So no matter what the goal is, and no matter whether or not you set your goal at the start of 2019, and we're now 6 weeks into the year and you've met the goal, then kudos to you, celebrate. If you're on target to meet the goal, you're still on track with it, then celebrate that, because that's another thing that's crucial, is celebrating. Really, that should be number 6 now that I think about it, because the more you celebrate small wins and little successes along the way, the more likely you are to stay committed. And that's actually a mindset technique, right? When you celebrate small wins, then you set yourself up mentally to win. And then actually celebrating a win releases dopamine in the brain, which makes you feel happy, and then you get excited, and then you're more likely to do it, right? And we talked about that back when we looked at awareness. We talked about breaking down your goals sometimes so that they're not so daunting and so huge, but just kind of breaking them down a little bit small, and so that you can celebrate these small wins, right? So if you're the person that's on target to meet the goals, then celebrate each little step along the way, right? So when you're trying to lose 10 pounds, trying to lose 20 pounds, if you've never done that before, that can seem like a lot. Celebrate when you lose 5. Celebrate the day that you actually drank the 80 plus ounces of water that you're supposed to that day. Learn to celebrate along the way, and you're more likely to stay committed if you do. However, if you're the person that's watching this live or catching the replay, you guys know that I love my replay watchers, and you're saying, oh, Shayla, you have no idea. I'm 6 weeks in and I've screwed the whole goal up. That's fine too, because guess what? We can't do anything about yesterday, but you can take these principles and now do something moving forward, right? So rewrite the goal. Rewrite the goal. Put it on a piece of paper, write the vision, make it plain, right? Put it on a piece of paper, and then go down. Look at the alignment. Look at the awareness. Look at the belief. Look at the commitment. Look at the clarity, right? And then go back to the drawing board and do the work. And know that as long as the belief is there, then it's going to happen. May not happen exactly when you thought it was going to. And sometimes it doesn't even happen the way you exactly thought it was going to. But if you have the belief and you're willing to be committed to the work, then it can and it will happen. And lastly, if you can't do that on your own, then I'm here for accountability. I'm actually meeting this week. I'm so excited with my first accountability client. And she and I will sit down and we will do this very thing that I'm telling you. We will look at each one of these components. We will work out her accountability plan, and then I will be there to hold her hand, to cheerlead and to guide and redirect and encourage when she needs it. So I love that. I love the opportunity, but you know, it can be done. It can be done. I know it can be done because I've done it. I know it can be done because I've seen other people do it. Michelle is here on the live tonight, and one of the goals that she had was that she wanted to go live more this year, right? Well, she's already gone live with me. She's gone live by herself. And I just saw a post today where she's actually looking to do almost like a table talk situation where she's either going to go live with a guest and have an audience. So all it takes is that first small win, that first time that you believe in yourself enough to try it, and then you get to see the success of it, then that encourages you to go further ahead. Lisa says, time to do some rewriting of goals. I need a meeting. Girlfriend, we are long overdue for coffee, Waffle House, something, I don't know, glass of wine. Like, I'm missing you, and I have not looked, like the old folks say, need to put my eyes on you, Lisa. So yes, we need to figure out a time. I'm all about rewriting some goals. So let's see. Zach says new levels. So type in the comments below. Type a 1 in the comments below if something in this conversation about the ABCs has helped you. Type a 2 in the comments below if you are ready to now look at some goals and do something different. Okay, so 1 in the comments below if something over the last 3 weeks has helped, and type a 2 in the comments below if you are ready now to do something different. Because what do I tell you guys? Oh, Michelle said no Waffle House. Well, Michelle, act like you just didn't hear us say that part. We can eat eggs at Waffle House, right? Lisa, we'll chat offline. We're getting busted. So Lisa says she's a 1 and a 2. Awesome. Michelle says she's a 1. That is good to hear. Good to hear, you guys. So again, if you're in the area, want to come out this Saturday, I hate that I couldn't get Latasha on the live, but if you want to come out this Saturday and meet us at the Vision Board party, then it's an opportunity to network, be around some people, and write this vision. And I'll be there. There'll be other panelists as well that are entrepreneurs in the area. Kimberly says clean juice. Oh, yes. Oh, Lisa. Kimberly introduced me to clean juice, and it is actually really good. So we could meet there. It's on Woodruff Road. So yes, clean juice is yummy. And it's so neat, Kimberly. I have another friend that I meet with to do accountability, and we have actually met at Clean Juice. So yes, Lisa, we can go there. They have yummy smoothies and icy bowls, and my friend likes to get like a toast that has like an avocado spread. So yes, Lisa, we could try that. Girl, Kimberly and Michelle gonna get us together. And while I'm talking about it, Kimberly and Michelle, are you aware? I feel like you were on a live with us a couple weeks ago, but are you aware of Kimberly's event that's coming up March the 23rd? Fiercely Feminine, Cultivating Imperative Narrative. Yes, I got it right, Kimberly. I've been practicing saying it. But Michelle, are you aware of that? Because I think that you would really enjoy that. Clean Juice, Michelle, is on Woodruff Road. It's at the Shops at Greenridge, and it's a place that juices. So they do different mixes. Like you could say you wanted like an energy juice, immune builder. You can have a smoothie. You can just have juice. You can have icy bowls. You can have, they have lunch, a couple of lunch items. They have protein powder, peanut butter, natural stuff. Yeah, it's an experience. You just have to go. Oh, good. You said you were trying to go. Okay, awesome. Well, you guys, this is it. We are wrapping this series up. I'm hoping to bring you a guest next week so that we can just chit chat with somebody who is rocking it when it comes to the world of belief, kicking butt and taking names right now in 2019. So I'm super excited to have her on next week. But in the meantime, you guys, listen, if you want to type your goals out because you'd like for me to check in with you time to time, I'm here for that. Leave them in the comments below. If you guys catch the replay and you want to do the same thing, type your goals in the comments. Let me inbox you and check in from you from time to time and see how's it really going. Or if you start writing out like this, using this process where we're going to look at alignment, awareness, belief, clarity, and commitment, and you get stuck, inbox me. I don't mind at all. And other than that, in the meantime, what do I want you guys to do? Be empowered for purpose. Good night.